despite the fact that I'm a full-time French professor, I don't really take the opportunity to like give grades to projects, which might seem funny, it's like an obvious gimmick. But I don't really like doing that because I don't like thinking about art in those kinds of quantitative ways. But I am going to be giving grades on the on-the-radar rap cipher that was dropped, I don't know, last weekend. Let me tell you why. Hip hop is a competitive art. Screwface John says it's a competitive sport. I go one step further or one step back and I say it's a competitive art. And I do think that's part of it. Like, you're listening to it and these people are all working together, but they're also really trying to defeat each other. And I love that. And so I want to celebrate that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out this little sheet right here. I've got all 10 rappers all right there, and I'm going to give them a grade from an A to an F. Okay? Now, just general thoughts on this. Jesus Christ, it's good. What's going on? I mean, this makes you so hopeful, doesn't it? Doesn't it make you hopeful? Let me tell you why it makes me hopeful. Because, we just went through this whole battle and the soul of hip hop and the party being over. And it's really felt that lyricism and actually saying something is starting to come back into the fore in rap music again. And there's like little hints here and there, whether it's, I don't know, Baby Keem's album being so good, or certain spotlights that certain rappers have gotten, or just the general flourishing of Kendrick Lamar in the middle of this decade. But this is another sign, that there's these 10 rappers, 10 young guys who are all out there, and every single one of them is dropping something of substance and style all at the same time. So I think that this needs to be seen. I've seen a lot of people comparing this to Double XL, how their freshman class has taken a dive. And I think that's a fair thing to say. But Double XL also has kind of a tougher situation because they're trying to be mainstream. And a lot of these artists, maybe they want to be mainstream, but they're mostly, underground lyricists. So it's a little bit different. So I'm going to be evaluating them all on their voice, the smoothness, the skill with their rhymes, the cadence, what I would call a lack of anonymity. So like sometimes you'll watch a cipher like this and someone will be great, but you can't really tell the difference between them and the next person. I'll be talking about the style of rhymes, is it complex? Is it multisyllabic? Is it end of rhyme? Is there internal rhymes? Or if it's not complex, does the charisma, does the character make up for that, right? Because not everything good is complex. And then the contents of the rhymes, which I think in this kind of context, in this kind of cipher, which I actually just taught my students in my hip-hop class what a cipher was. I was explaining Wu-Tang Clan. In this rhyme circle, you have the content, which are punchlines and real-life anecdotes. And what is the quality of those two things? My other general comment on this is, hey, y'all, where are the women? I don't know. It's weird, right? Like, you trying to tell me, like, Love the Genius wouldn't have made it on here? I don't know. So this is the way I'm basically grading it. If someone gets an A, that means I will review their next project. Like, whatever it was that they showed me on this little snippet, this little showcase, has convinced me that's it. Clicks be damned. I'm going to review this next project. If they get a B, that means I'm going to check out their next project. If they get a C, it means, they're on the radar, literally, but probably I'm not going to check for it. Anything lower than a C means, it's just not good enough. Now, what makes this whole thing tricky is there's a ringer, okay? There's a ringer. Well, there's two ringers, but really there's one ringer named Ray Vaughn. You see, Ray Vaughn is unfair. You see, right off the bat, he is getting an A+. So I'm going to start with him because I have to get him out of the way because, as you kids would say, Ray Vaughn is a problem. Long Beach, 29 years old. I already reviewed his album last year. I said it was probably the second best rap album of the year, if not the best. I think it's up there with Clips. I think it's that good. And what he's able to do is he gets two verses, and he does it so well. The first verse is about loving his kids, which is one of the main themes of the whole cipher, which again is a really good sign that we have a lot of young men talking about their obligations to their families instead of talking about less important things. And a lot of fuck ICE, which is really important to say, because that is true. Fuck ICE. And then he makes reference to something called an S curl box. And I found that interesting because he said, put me, I'm so wavy, something like that, or I'm so straight. I don't know what he said. One of those two things. Put me right on the S curl box. And so I did what most people of my melanin levels would do, and I looked up S curls, and it's some kind of hair product that is made not exclusively but predominantly for African American people, right? For black folks. So right away, he's doing something fascinating in this first verse. He talked about my family. He's talking about political stuff, saying fuck ICE, and then he's throwing in a little seed there that's a divider. If you know what an S curl box is, then you're probably black, or you are so much in the black community that you know very obscure personal care items. But if not, it is alienating you and making you say, I'm not sure this is all for me, which is what leads in to the second verse, which is in the running for verse of the year. It might win verse of the year. It is just so good. Now, when you see him, he's wearing this very cool TDE hat. I went online and I looked it up. It's like $46 for a hat, which is a little too much. And then also I have a friend named Ted. So I know it says TDE, but it just looks like Ted. He's wearing a TDE hat and a TDE shirt. And I'm like, dude, we know you're on TDE. Like people kind of like Joey kind of made fun of you in the beef last year for like always repping TDE. But then I understood. He's out here for Doechii. He's out here avenging what Aiden Ross said about Doechii. But it goes beyond that. This is a specific, I believe Screwface John called it an ethering of Aiden Ross. Okay? Sure, it's that. But it's also a general call for cultural gatekeeping. If you have been watching any of the Culture United expanded universe over the past couple years, you will see there's this rising acknowledgement and understanding of the need for gatekeeping of hip-hop culture from white people. Seriously. And I don't mean that like lightly. I mean that like seriously. Like the need to say, as FD Signifier says, there are no more invites to the cookout. The cookout is closed until further notice. That is needed to preserve and protect the culture from invading forces. Now, I say that as somebody who tries to be an ally, who tries to be kind, who tries not to, who said, I don't claim to be a part of hip-hop culture. I'm just a tourist. I'm just a visitor. I acknowledge it and study it the same way I study 17th century French literature. But I do try to be in community with it. But still, hip-hop has to be protected from me too. I also am a threat. No matter how kind I am or how good my instincts are or how generous I am or all those things, I'm still a threat. And if I can't recognize that, that makes me a bigger threat. So right here in this verse from Ray Vaughn, this absolute unfair verse, what is everyone else supposed to do? See, when it's over, ain't no time for the vultures. That's why I need an extra time so I could talk to the culture. So he's taking an extra verse. He's doing an extra verse. There's 10 people rapping here, but he's taking an extra verse. Look, we stay silent. They constantly disrespect. Them little scary-ass white boys should be checked. And I say this as a not-so-scary-ass white boy. It is true. We need to be checked. And I mean that in a way that's not, people often get all mixed up and they're all like, oh, white guilt, white guilt. It's not white guilt, it's white acknowledgement. It's just like, it's what we do. By we, I mean white folk. We come in and take over things and make it ours. That's what we try to do. We try to terraform every single aspect of human existence. It's just, I don't know if it's just a function of what humans do when they are given power or when they take power. I don't know what it is, but again, let them think they got the juice to their breast. They scared to death. They mock it and play it. Oppress. Melanin is a threat. So he's acknowledging, he's saying, he's understanding, he's talking about the ways in which just his skin tone itself is a threat. The culture way too quiet for me. He's talking about there isn't enough defense of Doechii. There was not enough defense. There were not enough people coming out and saying stuff. Now listen. Everybody in the Culture United extended universe came out and said something. I said something. Everyone said something, but it is true. Not a lot of rappers came out and really came to bat. They screaming industry plant, but they left blood on their leaves. talking about Doechii being called industry plant, but then not defending her. We let them talk reckless because it ain't one of us on the screen, but disrespecting one of ours, that's a shot at the team. Please, I guess we're all just monkeys making jungle music, white feet upon the culture, they emulate the blueprint. Ray Vaughn isn't just making a point here, right? He's not just saying, like, there's a thing that's happening. He is saying it so poetically. White feet on the culture? Do you not see it? Do you not visualize the culture as being like a nice ottoman? That's how I see it. I see it like you go over to someone's house and their furniture is nice. Nice little like mid-century modern couch, like not too comfortable, but not too uncomfortable either. You go down, you sit down, there's like this nice kind of ottoman there, nice white, maybe like slightly off-white, maybe leather, maybe cloth ottoman, impeccably clean. And you show up and you got your boots on and you just plop those fuckers right down on the ottoman. That's the image that I get. And that's what he's describing. And that's what Aiden Ross does. That's what a lot of these folks do. A lot of these guys are doing that, okay? Mock the origin, then monetize off the movement where it sounds like a costume. Just going in. I mean, seriously. I did a whole video. Called something like white person, the tourist guide to hip hop, something like that. I made it last year. It was a good video. One of my best, actually. I'll include a link to it at the end of this. And he's just saying it all just in rap form. So read the room because the shit ain't a typo. They're playing with the culture, looking at all of us. The price is low. We've been through it, but we're going to be all right, though. So fuck y'all. Let me talk to the white folks. We invited you to the cookout, let you mimic our steps, gave you a place in our desk. We let you copy our flesh. We shed our style. We shed our rhythm. Let you copy the steps. You ate good off our season. Now you spit on our chefs. So the seasoning, because that's the joke, is that white food doesn't have any seasoning. It's true sometimes, not all times. It's true in America and England, So there's a lot of white people making very, very flavorful food in the world. In America, I'll take it. You had my tuna casserole, but we ate good off of their seasoning. Now we spit at our chefs. Free of speech, don't be free of respect, because the whole thing about the super ghouly right-wing goons and gooners and groomers is that they are obsessed with free speech, but they don't want free speech. What they want is the ability to be racist. So if you shed disrespect, then you hosting neglect. We don't need pity, just a boundary check. We don't need pity, just a boundary check, because that's the truth. They don't need pity. Hip-hop culture, Black American culture doesn't need pity for hip-hop. We just need to respect where the boundaries are and not cross them. Stop saying invite me to the cookout. Stop saying this is mine. Stop saying how does race matter. Stop saying post-racial. Stop saying all these things. Stop saying it. Respect the boundary, because I don't get to draw the boundary. Folks who look like me have had the pleasure, the displeasure, the ignominy of just taking the world map and just drawing boundaries wherever the hell we want. Oh, the Hutu and the Tutsi, they hate each other? Just put them in the same place. Who cares? It's mine now, right? That's how we do it. That's what happens when outsiders determine the boundaries. We draw wherever the hell we want. The accountability loud when the privilege is death, fused being welcome, we're owning a place. Anyone standing next to dude should get smacked in the face. See, if you profit from us, that means you answer to us. Ray Vaughn. This is the point. Seriously, I promise you, in this comment section too, there'll be people be like, stop saying white guilt. It's not white guilt. It is just acknowledgement. This is just not my stuff, man. It's not my stuff to talk about. It's not mine. It's not my culture's. I do profit from it. I mean, spiritually more than monetarily, but also monetarily. I do answer. I do feel an obligation to answer to Black American culture when talking about hip-hop. I feel an obligation. I don't feel that that's debasing myself. I don't feel like that's just a question of white guilt. That is just respecting the thing. The same way that I owe when I go to an opera and there's certain ways you're supposed to watch an opera. I respect the rules of the house. That's how you engage with that culture. I don't sit there and go, I'm going to watch it how I want to watch it. No. But this is obviously a much deeper than opera. We built the land versus a soul thumper, signed TDE in these streets. I'm a road runner. Fuck their platforms. I hope the whole thing go under, like the whole thing, because that's the truth. It's the nature of hip hop. A lot of money's being made, and most of it's being made by the people who own the platforms and who own the labels. Very little of it, proportionately, is actually made by the artists who make it. My brother's got shot. You won't catch me on No Jumper, going after Adam 22 as well, crying in the stream when she realized the pressure bring. Not take his money from him like you take it from me. Energy off. Tell him it ain't easy to read. I'm black as night, so watch how you speak on our queens. Fist up, walk around like I'm not, like you hate me because my dick way bigger. All my top dogs see what showing love do. Stop showing love to people who don't fucking love you. It's Vaughn Wick. So, I've been trying to tell y'all for a little while how good Ray Vaughn is. I'm not alone. I'm not alone out here. A lot of people have been trying to tell you how good Ray Vaughn is. But this is a reminder. Go back and listen to the good, the bad, and the dollar menu. It's all this good. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go through the rest of the list. This is going to be a lot quicker. Marco Plus, from Atlanta, on Rock Nation, 27 years old. Great. Starts right off with talking about having to prove things to his family. He talks about setting boundaries with people. Again, I love that. He maybe gets some points off for some kind of boring snakes in the grass imagery, mistaking love for lust, cold as Curtis Snow. Did he mean to say Curtis Blow, or is Curtis Snow someone else? That might be a reference like S-Curl that I just don't get. He says he does it for money, for food, for his daughter's tummy. I love it. I love it when rappers talk about their families. I lost a lot of people, so I can't feel. I can't heal. I do a lot of drugs, so I can't feel. It's a great balance of style and substance. Vocally, this is going to sound crazy, but vocally, the person he reminds me most of is Gil Scott-Heron. Now that I've said it, what do you think of that? Deep water, feel like a Navy SEAL. They started off super strong. He is getting an A. Now, of course, I know about Marco Plus because I watch Rob Markman's content, and Rob Markman is a champion of up-and-coming hip-hop. That's one of the things he does really well. So he already told me about Marco Plus. Next up is another person that Rob Markman taught me about on his YouTube channel, Ruben Vincent, out of Charlotte, Rock Nation. Sweet. I have a colleague from Charlotte. I'm going to have to tell him about Ruben Vincent. Very smooth voice. I love his opening. I made a promise to God that I'm going to get away with murder. That's what you got to do, man. In a Cypher, you got to get people's attention right off the bat. Life wasn't given sweet, so selling sour was glorified. He gets more emphatic. I vowed to move the needle. Ego and pride make small fish into piranhas. Do you see the content? Do you see the value of that sentence? Ego and pride make small fish piranhas. Ego and pride make small fish piranhas. Who's this Ruben Vincent guy? What's up with that? Why does he have two names? Tough pill to swallow with a great forced rhyme, Bill Cosby. It starts off super strong. I'm going to tell you that. Ruben Vincent, I'm not going to say he's quite as strong as Marco Plus, but we got 3 A's already. Going to be giving him an A-, okay? A-, not quite as strong as Marco Plus. Then we get to Overcast out of Oakland. Hey, sweet. I used to live in Oakland. I like his anti-ICE lyric, and I like that he's talking about white people hating Somalians, which is like wild. But in general, it's kind of a short verse. It's not the best. It's not bad, you know? So I initially was going to say, C. But then he said that he made the beat. So I'm crossing that out. I'm moving him up an entire grade, okay? He is getting a B, all right? He's getting a B. I will check out his next project. Maybe not definitely review it, but I'm just going to check it out. Next up is Marlon. Is Marlon Craft, who's not quite young. He's 32. He's out of Hell's Kitchen. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I saw he was on here, and the first thing I thought was, hey, it's FD's white boy. Because FD Signifier has been talking about Marlon Craft for like a super long time. And I've never listened to him. To my shame. That's ridiculous. Why have I not listened to this guy? He's awesome. I mean, his sports bars are top shelf. I used to have a Pete Rose I used to have a Pete Rose card up here. Anyways, yeah, he makes the whole thing is his whole verse is all themed around gambling, about not being a gambler but being the draft king, like drafting off of other people and betting myself like I'm Pete Rose and Terry Rozier. Just great. And then this line, when you're a white guy in a cipher like this, you have to address race in some way, and he does it in the best possible way. Locked in like Larry with 3, like which of y'all will have the second best verse after me, because famously Larry Bird during the 3-point competition went into the locker room, wherever it was they were preparing, and just looked around at everyone and said, which one of you is going to finish in second place? Because Larry Bird, he's not the greatest basketball player of all time, okay? That's Bill Russell, okay? But, he may be the best shit talker of all time. I might be a Celtics fan. So, anyways. It was Bill Russell, Marcus Smart, and Larry Bird. Those are the 3 best players in NBA history. Okay. Another basketball line with like AI. I'm not afraid of AI because I'm practicing. I heard they were rapping about rapping. I disagree. They're rapping about capping, and everyone just flips out. Like, that's the thing. He's very clearly an older guy because he knows how to like manipulate things and turning in passion and something to be sold. Super strong, man. I'm just getting all these good grades, but he's also getting an A-. I'm going to review the next Marlon Crouch project that comes out. I owe it to FD. I owe it to myself. Okay. Ben Riley, like the Spider-Man, like Amazing Spider-Man 149, the Spider clone guy. Is that his real name, or did he take that name? I looked it up. I think he took that name. That is the nerdiest hip-hop name of all time. There is nothing even close. I mean, the Spider clone saga was not popular. I know because I accidentally had multiple copies of Amazing Spider-Man 149 when the Clone Saga came out, and those books got hot. Hey, if Rob Markman's watching now, he's psyched. Just some great turns of phrase. I'm the best since the best killed and made space. He does this kind of like chandelier scheme that's a little bit weak. And I think his name must actually be Damon because he goes on this whole line. Stay clear before I blank, man. Do not test Damon. Weigh in my options. So Damon Wayans played a superhero character in a movie called Blank Man, a movie that completely flopped. And then he said, living in color. He sketch we erase, raking a lot mo money, living in color is what Damon Wayans started on with his brother Keenan Ivory Wayans and his other brother Marlon Wayans. Living in color, and then Mo Money is also a Damon Wayans movie, so he made like a whole Damon Wayans run. That's going to get you some credit. And then he quotes Kanye, who are they going to listen to? It's going to be me, not you. He talks about his multisyllabic scheme where he's able to mix in multisyllabic rhymes with personal truth. I forgot to mention Granny got dementia. Forgot to mention Manny got dementia. And then the thing is, I was really close to giving him a B+. I was really close. Good but not great. But then he does this whole thing, he kind of switches up his flow and slows it down and gives it a little bit more character. Great, you got your car repoed. This car got 5 speeds. It's going to be another A-. Already in this, out of these 10, we already have 1, 2, 3, 4. We already have 5 artists who I'm definitely going to be reviewing when they come out this year. That's pretty good. That's pretty healthy. Suave out of Atlanta, 29. I like this verse. Didn't quite move me. I like the kind of girl probably mad at me. I'm probably mad at her. I love it when he says, I'm talking to y'all like I'm talking to y'all. I really enjoyed that. But, it's sort of a lot about God. It wasn't particularly great. So, I'm gonna have to give that a C+. C+. It's good. It's good, but we got a lot of competition here. And I'm judging you against this. So in any other cipher, that might be an A. But this cipher is killer. Next up is Nassan, 28, out of Detroit. So he tries to do this thing where he does like this, hello, is this thing on? He's trying to sound like Eminem, I guess, because his dad is proof. He was in D12 with Eminem, rest in peace. He's dressed in full leather, which is kind of weird. And he shouts out, he does the presidential roly Donald Trump thing, which is a little played out. He says he's the best in his city. Just off the top of my head, Fat Ray, Bruiser Wolf, Big Sean, Eminem, Boldy James. They're all better than this guy. Danny Brown. Detroit's a pretty good rap city. And then he takes a shot at Rob Markman. you get an F minus minus. No, don't take shots at Rob Markman. Don't take shots. Rob Markman has done more for hip hop than a lot of rappers. Okay, like, just I was on A Culture United, and he was taking flack. He was getting shellacked by the comments for his support of Cole, but he stands on business. He stands on what he does. He has actually he was getting attacked by Nassan for not championing the people here when I had only heard of these people because Rob Markman himself put me onto them. No, there's a lot of things you can make fun of Rob Markman for, liking comic books too much, having a name that almost sounds like a comic book guy, Markman. He's a Yankees fan. The Yankees suck, man. They've only won one World Series this whole century, dude. You know, I mean, the Giants are better than the Yankees, right? But you can't make fun of them for not supporting young hip hop artists. That is just the most bitter, horrible stuff. So the same way that Ray Vaughn went out there and went down for Doechii, I'm going down for Rob Markman. I do not accept that at all. Don't care who your dad is. Nobody goes after Rob Markman on my watch unless they're really bitter Cole haters. In which case, you know, it's all part of the game. But don't worry. After that, and the other thing is, like, he didn't deliver it well. Like, even if I'm not giving him an F for going after Rob Markman, like, he wasn't that, like, he was trying to do this kind of charisma-based, like, high revolt, but, like, it didn't really land. It didn't really land because you knew everyone there wasn't really with it. Like, it was like a really half-hearted attempt. It was like an attempt to be really cool and, like, but it just didn't land. Next up is Larizi out of New Orleans, 20. What the hell? Where did this guy come from? I ought to trademark greatness. My new name, you should all strive to be like me. This is what I'm talking about. His lyrics are not the best, but he might have been the most interesting guy up there. I'm the unicorn pony. I'm only 21. Imagine me at your age. I just got engaged. I think Larizi was my second favorite after Ray Vaughn. His style, his flow, his presence, his word choice. Again, he's talking about his life in an interesting way. It's just great. Then it ends with Chris Patrick, 28 out of New Jersey. Another guy Rob Markman turned me on to. So I've seen other stuff by Chris Patrick that I liked a lot more. This, I didn't like that much. I don't know. It's like he was trying to talk about multiple sclerosis diagnosis, an obstacle. According to the CDC, there's no cure for it. It feels like he's trying to do the personal stuff, but he's not doing it with the sort of like grace and efficiency one would hope for. It's just a little clumsy. So, and also, who in the world lets somebody go after Ray Vaughn? Okay? Who in the absolute, what sadist decided to go after Ray Vaughn? So I'm going to be giving him a C, but truthfully, I will be checking out this album when it comes out. So there you go. There are my grades. What are your grades? You tell me in the comments. What do you think about that Ray Vaughn verse? What do you think of me giving grades to stuff, huh? All right. Smash like bucket, subscribe. AVAA stands for awesome video as always. Fuck ICE and fuck Aiden Ross, who supports ICE. There's the camera. But I'm not going to say fuck Nassan. I'm not going to say that. You know, it's hip hop. He can do what he wants. I'm not going to say that. He's not Aiden Ross. But, you know, I'm not going to let him say mean things about Rob Markman. Markman. Is he a comic book character? Okay, there's the camera.